What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Momentous Living. I'm Kevin, and today we're going to talk about steps. So I was on my way into work today, and I was like, okay, what are we going to talk about? Usually every Tuesdays, I try to film something, and I'm trying to brainstorm something, and I seen someone walking, and I'm thinking, you know what? That's a great topic. The topic of steps is something I find very important. It is so beneficial for our overall health and well-being, and a lot of people simply take it for granted. So I wanted to address just a couple little things. I wrote a little bit of notes to keep me on track because anybody who knows me knows that I'm the king of tangents. But when it comes to walking, we all have heard the number 10,000. We got to get in those 10,000 steps. Let's aim for 8 or 12, whichever. But I'll get back to that. When it comes to walking, it's just so beneficial for our heart. It can reduce the risks of cardiovascular disease, stroke. I mean, technically, it could probably reduce the risk of osteoporosis because it's weight bearing. It could reduce the risk of certain mental ailments. So really, when it comes to walking, there's so much I could talk about, but let's start with this. Let's talk about the heart health. Whenever we start walking, what happens is all of a sudden it allows us to, over time, because consistency is everything. As I tell my clients, consistency breeds success. So over time, what walking will do is it will allow our heart to strengthen. And what this does is it will enable our heart to pump blood more efficiently with less effort. And I mean, I think anyone could assume that that's quite a benefit. I mean, that could help things such as high blood pressure. Now, that could also lend to a lower resting heart rate. So that's kind of where the heart becomes stronger and it can pump more blood with less beats or pump more blood per beat, right? So we call that the heart stroke volume. So if we're able to pump more blood per beat, then this will allow us to maintain a lower resting heart rate. Something else that it most definitely can do is improve blood vessel function. So it does this by making them more flexible, them being blood vessels, more flexible and less prone to damage from certain things like high blood pressure. Now, a key thing that I think most of us will probably assume is that walking can really be beneficial for weight management, especially if we live a very sedentary lifestyle. This could be huge. We underestimate the power of the steps. So what happens is that all of a sudden we get moving, we're burning the calories. It could help with insulin sensitivity, which I'll get to in a moment. But all of a sudden, by just increasing those steps, we could help manage the weight, or like I said, in those individuals with the sedentary lifestyle, it could really help reduce our weight. And with the reduction of weight, it could be less stress on the joints. Now, walking isn't really the most weight-bearing exercise, but it most definitely could aid to strengthening our muscles, strengthening our joints, our bones, so helping decrease chances of osteoporosis as we get older. I mean, when we get older, we have often the increased potential of a lot of different risks. So like the risk of falling. So walking with those strengthening of the muscles and the joints and the bones, we now decrease our risks of falling because we increase our overall balance. We are able to decrease or maintain a healthy blood pressure. We're really able to do so much. Now, one thing I mentioned just before was insulin. I love this one because when we're talking about our overall health and well-being, walking can be very beneficial for maintaining or regulating our blood sugar level, I should say. So one example I could give is, let's say we eat a meal. Now, most meals have carbohydrates in them most of the time, unless you're doing the carnivore diet like I am right now, but that's not the topic. So we most of the time have carbohydrates in our meal. Now, our carbohydrates will signal the pancreas to release insulin. And if we're not using it and we've had somewhat of a big carb-heavy meal, this will, over time, potentially cause insulin resistance. And that's not good for many reasons. Not the topic. But if we could increase or help maintain insulin sensitivity, we could assume that there are many, many things, from inflammation to certain diseases to type 2 diabetes. There are many things that we could decrease by maintaining insulin sensitivity. Now you're thinking, you heard me talk about insulin and you hear me talk about steps, and it's kind of like, okay, so where's the correlation? What happens is that when we go for a walk, we have this metabolic movement, these muscle contractions. Now, when our muscles contract, it has this beautiful ability to absorb blood sugar, kind of acting like what the insulin is supposed to do. So it kind of relieves a little bit of the pressure from the body of utilizing only the insulin. So you see, by the muscles contracting and reducing the blood sugar level or regulating the blood sugar level, it's able to aid in insulin sensitivity, or you could say reduce insulin resistance. And this is a big deal, especially those who are type 2 diabetic. These lifestyle changes could be super beneficial for reducing type 2 diabetes. Walking is also a great way to manage weight that we just mentioned. By incorporating regular walks into your routine, you could burn calories, boost your metabolism, and maintain a healthy weight. Plus, it's low impact, which means it's easy on your joints compared to other forms of exercise, making it accessible almost for everybody. It's not just our body that benefits from walking. It's also our mind. Regular physical activity, like walking, has been shown to reduce symptoms of anxiety and even depression. It can improve your mood, reduce your stress, and enhance your overall well-being. Walking in the nature, sometimes referred to as green exercise, is particularly beneficial. As I mentioned, walking, even though it's not the most weight-bearing, it's definitely beneficial for our bones and our joints and our muscles. So with everything that I just mentioned, you could see how it's fair to say that regular walking can basically enhance our lifespan. Staying active helps maintain your independence as you age, improves your balance and coordination, and reduces the risks of falls. And when we get older, those little falls, they could cause some big issues. And those issues could lead to some very unwanted things. So we can see how the lifespan definitely benefits from those steps. Studies have shown that individuals who walk regularly tend to live longer and healthier lives, mind and body. So how much walking is enough? The number that gets thrown around all the time is 10,000 steps. I've heard so many things about how this number came up, but that number seems to work. If we aim for 8,000 to 12,000, it seems to really have a beneficial effect on our body's overall physiological adaptations. And all of a sudden, we start to feel, usually about, let's say 6 weeks in, so like a month and a half, we start to really feel the benefit. The mood feels lighter, the body feels stronger. We're less out of breath for these little things that we're like, why am I out of breath? So give yourself 6 weeks. Start a little bit lower. I know 10,000 could be really a daunting number at first. Like, I only get 1,000 a day. Yes, just start with a smaller number. And if it's 1,000, start with that. And slowly, slowly build on that. And I'm telling you, please trust me, you will be loving the effects. Just give it about 6 weeks. And all of a sudden, you'll feel great. So here, I'm going to give you a couple little tips. Now, I know these tips seem like a given, but nonetheless, try to incorporate all these little tips whenever you can, and you'll see, because every step counts. So, first tip, let's take the stairs instead of the elevator. I'll give you a pass if the floor is on like the 60th floor. Okay, no problem. You get a pass. But if it's like 5 floors up, come on, let's take the stairs. Imagine I'll be there with you. You could do it. Second one, park a little further from your destination. Unless you're pulling up and a car pulls out, now that's just divine. That's divine intervention. You got to take that spot. And you got to text people like, look at the spot I just got. No, but seriously, whenever you get somewhere, go look for a spot a little further out. It's not going to be that difficult, but like I said, every step counts. Number 3, at lunchtime, once you finish your meal, I know it's tempting, don't pick up the phone. And if you're going to, go outside, go listen to a podcast, maybe your favorite YouTube channel, Momentous Living, just get outside. You know, we already spoke about the benefits of getting in those steps after a meal. So now keep that in mind and say, at lunch, after my meal, I'm going for a little walk. Step 4, if you got a pup, a little doggy, take him out. He'll love it. It's such a good bonding experience, but that's neither here or there. It's a good way to get in those steps. Number 5, organize some walking meetings. Now, that doesn't really work for me because I don't have any employees. I work by myself. But me and my wife, we do discuss a lot of things. And we do often go for walks. So we organize a little walk and talk. So if you don't have any partners if you don't have any colleagues or any employees, or you can't do this little walk and talk, well then get outside. If you don't have a significant other or any siblings, pick up the phone and go for a walk and have a little conversation while you're walking. And number 6, the last one I have, go explore. Go explore your neighborhood. Walk around, go see some trails, some of your local parks. I live in Montreal, and I personally feel like we are completely spoiled. I feel that there's from lakeshore to certain little areas. I could walk 5 minutes away and I could get into a beautiful trail. If you don't have that, explore your neighborhood. Just get out there and find any way to get in those steps. Incorporating walking into your daily routine is one of the simplest and most effective ways to improve your health. It benefits your heart, helps manage your weight, boosts your mood, strengthens your bones and muscles, and enhances your overall well-being. So, as corny as it is, let's start stepping towards a healthier future. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, like, subscribe, comment, maybe take me on your next walk. Like I said, thank you so much. It's always appreciated. And I'll see you guys next time with a little extra steps. Take care. Goodbye.